All right, Shalom. It's like, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I wanted to get into this lesson dealing with, as you can see, I titled it, There's Only One Way to Prepare for What's Coming. Okay, there's only one way to prepare for what's coming. And I want to start off with this precept here in Isaiah, the 33rd chapter. And ultimately, that way is in the mind. Okay, and this is in the mind. And the reason that is because when you look at, of course, the ministry, the work that we're doing, you know, and everything that's going on, when the scriptures say that when you come into the truth, you're supposed to eat the whole roll. All right, so that means you're supposed to, matter of fact, since I'm here, let's start off with that. All right, there's a reason the scriptures say that you're supposed to eat the whole roll. I believe this is Ezekiel chapter 3. Let's see. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak unto the house of Israel. And in the process of eating the roll, which is understanding the scriptures, you're eating it with your mind. All right, you're not taking a physical piece of paper and actually chewing it, but it's going into watching the videos, reading the scriptures, and the roll is the scriptures. All right, so you eat it with your mind and you understand and you digest it. And once you're able to do that, you can then go and you can teach. Okay, you can teach the house of Israel after you've eaten that roll. And that's here, Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. All right, and it says, for the time ye ought to be teachers. So before you can become a teacher, all right, ye have need that one teach you again. Because none of us just woke up one day and knew all of this. We had teachers, okay? We had brothers, elders, elder brothers to guide us, to teach us. And, you know, you have questions. When you're learning something new or learning something for the first time, you have questions. You're not sure, you know, if this is right or wrong. You know, that feeling of when you first come into the truth, that newness, that over-righteous newness, you know, where you don't want to, you know, step the wrong way and you're not sure. And you ask questions and you have teachers that teach you and guide you. You know, you watch these videos and they go into these things. Now, the reason this is important is because as you're learning, you may not notice or realize it, but as you teach and you teach and you teach, you realize that there's a difference in your mindset now than there was when you first came into the truth. And that difference is very key because that is a part of the preparation for what's to come. There's no amount of physical preparation you can do to deliver you in this time. It doesn't matter how much food you stock up. It doesn't matter how fast you are or how strong you are, you know, or how much you can bench press. Okay, no physical carnal preparation is going to be enough. The only way really is in your mind. Okay, because when you express faith or courage or all these things, where do they start? They start with your mind. Okay, your mind tells your body stand, even though your body is shaking and you may be afraid. Your mind says believe what what the scriptures say. All right, not whatever else is going on. That all starts up here. So the way you prepare for what's to come to be able to go through it is in the mind. And an example is when you first come into the truth, you hear about the judgments that are to come. And when you first hear about it, at first it sounds like, damn, man, that's harsh. Like, oh shit, damn, Lord, you gonna kill all these people, even our own people? But as you stay in the truth and you start to learn and, you know, learn more and gain more experience, and your mind gets more and more prepared and strengthened, you start getting to the point where you're like, Lord, can you please take these people out? You can't take them out soon enough. And you understand why it is that certain things are the way they are. You understand, you know, in terms of conceptually what's going to happen and why it has to happen. So when you know these things, you'll notice that in this time, we have a completely different mindset. All right, a completely different preparation style from people in the world. And that's why when we see these things happening, we don't bug out. We don't lose our minds. Okay? Something like death, for example, when you have an understanding of it, of you know, the correct understanding of it, okay, of according to the scriptures, you understand reincarnation, you understand what happens to the spirit and the body and how judgment works. You're able to make it through hard times with a calm mind because you know what? This didn't happen by coincidence. Okay? Everything is set up by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So when all hell is breaking loose and you're put in a situation you've never been in before, you're afraid and you're like, damn, you're going to have that stability of mind. And that's going to stem from all the preparation that you've been doing, whether consciously or subconsciously, by being in this truth. This truth changes your mind and your spirit in a way that you would have never been able to do. But it happens so subtly that you don't notice it. Look, brothers become better speakers. You become better teachers. You become a better reader. You become better at explaining things to people. You become better at reading people. There's a lot of traits that you pick up and start to exhibit that you don't realize because you do it constantly by teaching and being in this truth. And those traits stick with you. And a part of that is becoming numb. Is having that not only understanding, but being able to have a tough mind, having tough skin. Okay, having faith, knowing what it's like to be in a situation where, you know, you feel like, damn, there's no other way out, but then you pray to the Lord and you get delivered. Those experiences, okay, that you go through in this truth, those build up, those add up. They get stored in your spiritual memory bank. Okay, they get stored up in your mind. These experiences you go through. So when you're faced with them in Jacob's trouble, number one, you're already going to know what's happening. You're going to know why it's happening. You're going to know what's going to happen after. Okay? Now, you may not know it down to the detail, but you don't need to know it down to the detail. What you do need to know, you do know. So you're going to understand what's happening at least so you don't bug out like other people are. But you're also going to have those experiences that you've been through and that understanding and that connection between you and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai to where you know how to make certain decisions in that time. All right. You know what the feeling is like of you know, being in need of desperate help and having nowhere else to go. And then the Lord coming through for you. So you know that you can trust the Lord. All right. You know not to trust Esau no matter how desperate you get. These are all things that are going to be crucial in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? And so it's very important to understand that, look, a lot of people like truthers and different, you know, platforms, they'll tell you what's coming. They'll tell you it's about to get bad and hellish out here. But then they'll tell you, start preparing, you know, find a safe place, go to the mountain somewhere, you know, gather up some food and buy gold and silver. And there's nothing wrong with buying gold and silver or getting some extra food, you know, to last you a little while. But that's not that's not what's going to deliver you or necessarily keep you stable in that time. Because once your mind panics and it breaks down and you are not able to think rationally anymore, that's it. You become like the deer in the headlights. Okay? So let me finish up this verse real quick. This is Hebrews 5:12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. All right, now I saw a few precepts on here on the comment board, and it says here, what's going on here? All right, so it says, Shalom, Shalom. Yep, this is Chakam Mayash. Proverbs 19:8, he that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. And you know what? That actually reminded me of the precept that says, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So now you gotta then think about it, right? How do you foresee the evil, number one, and how do you hide yourself? Because we are foreseeing the evil by way of looking through the lens of prophecy, so we can see the evil that's ahead to come. So now, how do we hide ourselves? Are we trying to save up to buy nuclear bunkers You know, are we trying to buy guns and weapons and, you know, figure out a resort to go and run to? No. What are we doing? We're doing the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We're following the scriptures. We're teaching the word of the Lord, and we're trusting, all right, in the Lord and strengthening our faith, building it up. Okay, that is how we hide ourselves. The big portion of it is really up here. It's really up here. It's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And as a matter of fact, that leads me to Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So wisdom and knowledge is what's going to keep you stable. All right. It's what's going to keep you from bugging out. It's what's going to keep you from following the crowd to go get, you know, a cold or to end up in a FEMA camp and be messed up. It's what's going to keep you from losing faith, because people in the world don't know how to be spiritual. They don't see, you know, the way that we see. They can't see the kingdom through their mind's eye. They can't see the deliverance through their mind's eye. And if you are not strong in the mind and you're around them, especially in that time, their fear and their faithlessness, their incredulity is gonna start to eat away at yours. And if you're not strong enough, and instead of you strengthening them with your faith, they're gonna weaken you with their fear. And that's why it's so important to gather wisdom for a treasure, gather faith for a treasure. All right, Isaiah 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. So what wisdom and knowledge is that? Because you may know that they're getting ready to, you know, MOTB your ass. Okay, you may know what their plans and ideals are. You may know these things, but guess what? Alex Jones knows this. He knows that the technology they're dealing with is the MOTB technology. He knows that. All right. There's people out here in the world that know these things. Okay. So what are they going to be stable just because they know that? No. And that's where the separation, that's where the difference lies. What, right? It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Well, what wisdom and knowledge? What kind? You got left-hand wisdom. You got wisdom of the world. So what kind of wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times? The wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Scriptures. The wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That is what's going to keep us stable. Because just knowing is not enough. You need to understand. You need to know that, all right, oh, matter of fact, that's a good precept. That's a good precept, actually. Let me read that. This is Yahweh's will and testament 144, 2nd Ezra 16 and 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Verse 75, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So now, let's take that for example, and let's apply that. You knowing that and understanding that is gonna calm you down. Because if you have faith and you trust in the Lord and you trust that his words are true, then you knowing that he said, look, the hard times are ahead. As a matter of fact, the times are at hand, but I'm going to deliver you from it. All right. Others are going to weep in sorrow, but you're going to be merry and have abundance. That calms you down. You may be broke. You may be out on the streets. You may be laying on a park bench. But knowing that calms you down because you're comforted in knowing that there's hope, in knowing that something is going to happen some way, somehow. And you don't even need to know exactly how or what's going to happen. But just knowing that something is going to happen that's going to deliver you is enough to keep you calm, is enough to keep you patient, is enough to help you go on another day longer. If you end up in a FEMA camp and your mindset is, damn, I'm here, there's no hope, there's nothing I can do, I'm just going to die, then you're done. You're going to bug out. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to panic because you don't want to die. You don't want to suffer. All right? You get separated from your family. You start panicking. But when you understand how the Lord works, you understand the mercies of the Lord, you understand that nothing happens without the Lord sanctioning it, you can calm down. You can be more stable in the mind. You can know that, okay, well, the Lord said, if I do serve him, he's going to take care of us. He said we're going to eat when others are starving. So though there's a famine coming, I don't need to lose my mind because the Lord said that we're going to eat. I have that inside of my head. So when they say the only way you're going to eat is if you take this MOTB, guess what? That's not true. And the fact that I know that's not true, I'm going to move a certain way. I'm going to apply that knowledge and I'm going to avoid the MOTB. I'm not going to give in to that temptation because I know that there's another way. I know that the Lord said he's going to keep us. These things are going to keep you calm. They're going to keep you stable. Isaiah 59:19, the Lord said he's going to lift up a standard, all right, for us against this devil. When that time comes, just knowing that there's a scripture like that is going to comfort you. Okay, it's going to keep you calm. It's going to give you that confidence to keep going and know that even if they do come after you, there's a defense that's there for us. And just having that knowledge alone is going to be good. Okay, it's going to be good because these people, they're going to go and take that MOTB. You know why a lot of these people are bugging out and they took the Vanessa and they did all that? Because they didn't have the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to know that, you know what? There's something better after this. This is not the end. You're not wasting your one life by saying you're not going to comply with the system. No, there's something greater coming. Guess what? That drives us because we know. And it says what? And strength of salvation, because there are certain criterias, all right, and requirements in order to be delivered. And those that have the true knowledge and wisdom and understanding, the virgins that have the oil, they're the ones who are going to follow that and fulfill that criteria. And that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding they have is going to strengthen their path to salvation. All right, it's going to give them a better shot. It says the fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. And it is our treasure because through the fear of the Lord, we gain the knowledge and the protection and everything that comes with it, the hedge. All right. So moving on. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. And I brought this out because we're entering into uncharted waters. And we are closer now than we've ever been. And we're so close that people in the world can see it. Now, I gave an example about this, that what we see being the prophets is like being able to look 10 feet ahead, right? And people and you have people that are able to see maybe 5 feet ahead, and then you have the rest that they can't see ahead. They only see now, all right? So when you are able to see 10 feet ahead, you're going to start to speak about things that you see, but others are not going to see those same things. So when you see the MOTB and you see the famines and you see the pestilences and you see the chaos, you see it 10 feet ahead first. So you're going to see it before everybody else. And they're going to look at you like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. So they're going to think you're crazy. But then as it gets closer and now it's 5 feet ahead, you still see it. But now others are going to start to see it. Those that can see at least 5 feet ahead. And that's these so-called truthers. And then it gets to the point where it's right in front of you and now everybody can see it. So when it gets to the point where even people who cannot see far ahead are seeing it, that tells you that what? It's right here. Okay? Because I know this carnal as individual, they're not able to see ahead. They don't believe these prophecies. So if they're speaking on the same things, that means that it's not ahead anymore. It's here. It's right in front of us. That's the only way these guys would be seeing it and talking about it. Think about it. A lot of the things that we were called conspiracy theorists for are now being talked about commonplace by the average individual. Now, the average individual does not have the foresight to be able to see into the future. So how are they able to see these things and talk about it? That's because they're right in front of us. These things are no longer ahead of us. They're now right in front of us. Unprecedented, uncharted territories. All right, uncharted waters. Now, the thing about it is they may see it, but they don't understand just how bad it's going to be. Okay? Because once again, let's build a bit on that example. See, what's a good example? Say whatever it is you're looking at is maybe like a train or an animal, something. And when you first saw it from 10 feet ahead, you saw the face. You saw the face of it, right? And then when it got closer, when it got to 5 feet ahead, now you could see the face and the body because you can see further. And then when it's right in front of you, you see the face, the body, and everything that is coming with. So you know, oh shoot, I can see the face and I can see whatever else is coming after this. I can see the beginning of it, I can see the middle of it, and I can see the end of it. Now these people, once it gets to them, all they can see is the face. They can't look past that. So they'll see the famines and the warning signs of the electricity grid about to go down, inflation going up. They'll see these things, but they can't see what's behind it. They can't see what's coming after it. And because of that, they may admit that, oh yeah, things are getting bad, but they won't be in the same spirit as you because they don't know just how bad it's going to get. You know that because you can see ahead. See? So these things, you can see the difference between the mindset of somebody that's in the truth versus somebody that's in the world. People are losing their minds right now because they don't understand what's happening. And they're not going to know what to do. And there's going to be temptations all around. Do you think it's an easy thing to go without eating? It's not. It's not an easy thing to go without food or water. And what makes it worse is you don't just have the ability to say, okay, now I'm going to go to my fridge and get some. This is you're hungry, you're thirsty, but what makes it worse is you don't know when or where you can get access to food or water. That's what makes it worse. It's one thing if you're hungry and thirsty, but you know, okay, right when I get home, I can eat. You can hold it. But when you don't know where or how, you're like you're pretty much in a very heavy temptation. And you know how Satan likes to work. He'll come when you feel that you're at your lowest. And that's when he comes to test you. You know, you said you didn't want to take that thing, that MOTB. But look at you. You're all hungry. Your ribs are touching. Your kids are crying. You know, what's going on, man? What's going on? Temptations, temptations, temptations. And he might use it through your woman. He might use it through your friend, your parents, you know, to try and talk to you as if there's something wrong with you. Oh, you can't keep on going like this. Are you just going to throw your life away? You know, you have to do something. Look, the world is going on. This is the new world, and you just have to adapt and move with it. People are going to try to convince you to take that thing because it's the same old cycle. It's the same thing they did with everybody started. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, no, this is preposterous. This is an invasion of my body and my privacy. And then a couple months later, yeah, I got it. I got both, and I'm getting the third one next week. You sitting back like, what happened? And then they go from being these adamant people that were against it to now they done taken it. And now they're telling you got to take it. Now they're trying to convince you to take it. We've seen it already. Okay? And it's going to be like that, but on a much higher scale when this MOTB comes out. These people don't have the spirit of the Lord to be able to withstand that level of temptation. That's why they break so quickly. And you sit back and wonder, hold on a second, am I tripping? Were we not all here? Were we not all saying that we're not gonna take it? Or were we not all on the same page? And now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy, right? Like we're the evil guys because we're sticking to what we all said we wouldn't do. And people are dropping like flies. And like we've said before, at that point you still had food to eat. You know, inflation wasn't at the level that it is now. So think of how much more pressure, how much more added pressure there will be when this MOTB comes out. And you think physical strength is going to be able to help you through that hour of temptation? You think having stocked up on food is going to, when the troops kick down your door and take your ass and confiscate everything you have, what do you have then? What do you have? When you work out so much, but then you go up against this troop that kicks your ass and beats you mercilessly, what do you have? You realize that your strength is nothing. So what do you have? What we have is absolute, and that's faith. So let me read this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. It says, "There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able." So whatever we're going to go through, the Lord is going to give us just enough. And sometimes you may feel like it's too much, but the Lord is not a liar. You got to dig deep and find out, well, if the Lord put me through it in some way, somehow, I got to be able to make it through. It says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape. Always remember that no matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always a way to escape. There's always a way out. But you have to believe that there's a way out, and you have to believe that the Lord has that way out for you. And it says what? That ye may be able to bear it. Now, if you're not looking for a way out, then how are you going to make it? Okay? So it's very important, once again, that there's you know, one of the main ways, I'll put it like that, is to prepare it in your mind. And when you feed your mind with faith boosting, you know, exhorting, whether it's scriptures or watching videos or staying alert, look, your brain and your body is designed to adjust. The same way that these elites use these mental exposure to desensitize the minds of the people. Do you remember when Jake started getting gunned down in the streets? And I remember that there was a time when it was like a new thing, to where I think you had the Trayvon Martin, right? The whole situation with, what's his name, George Zimmerman, something like that, and Trayvon Martin. And it was a big deal. Mike Brown, oh shit, damn, they killed that dude, they choked him. Oh, I mean, it was just wild enough. Everybody was talking about it. They made posters and all of these different things. And now it happens commonplace, and it's like, yep. And you know why? Because they've desensitized the minds of the people. When something happens for the first time, it's a big deal. It's like, whoa, what's going on? I'll give you an example. When you have a baby, right? And your baby says their first words. Oh, shoot. Right? But then it gets to the point where the baby won't shut up. They're like 2, 3, 4 years old, and them talking is not amusing. It's not mesmerizing anymore. It's just like, yo, you're asking too many questions. You're talking too much. Just be quiet and sit down and eat your food, all right? And it's like, but it's the same thing. When they first spoke versus them speaking now, they're still speaking, but the wildness of it was the first time it happened. When they take their first steps. Oh shit, he took his first steps. Oh my gosh, because it's the first time it's happening. Oh. But now he's running around everywhere, and you want him to just sit his ass down. It's not amusing anymore. It's not a big deal anymore. Why? Because you see him do it all the time. Do you think your parents look at you now and say, damn, wow, you're walking? I remember a time when you never walked before. You walk every day. They see you walking every day. The point is that when you see something for the first time versus when you see the same thing for the 1,000,000th time, there's a different reaction. Over time, it just becomes normal. There was a saying that says, if you tell a big enough lie, damn, I forgot how it went, but basically, if you tell a lie over and over and over and over and over again, people will start to believe that it's true. Okay, they'll actually start to believe it's true because you keep telling them over and over and over and over and over again. You're implanting it into their minds. That's how you brainwash people, okay? Or indoctrinate. That's how you indoctrinate people, with repetition of the same thing. And it may not be true, but it's the same thing over and over and over again, and they're getting exposed to it, okay? So the point that I'm making, maybe I made a little too many examples, but let me backtrack. The point that I'm making is the same way these elites use, they use this to expose the minds of the people to be desensitized to these things. Well, the Lord uses these scriptures to expose our minds to be desensitized to the hell that's coming. Because we're constantly talking about it. We're watching movies where they show it. We're reading these scriptures about deliverance, about the judgments. So we're constantly hearing about it. And then you realize that now, when you tell somebody about the judgments that are coming, you don't even flinch. Sometimes you might even laugh. Not that you're sick, but it's because it's now normal to hear. But to them, it's not. They're actually afraid because it's new to them. See? So there's the importance of being constantly exposed to these scriptures, being constantly exposed to these videos, that are constantly telling you about the times to come, what to expect, what to do, calling upon the Lord, different kinds of videos that brothers and elders do. That is constantly exposing your mind, but it's building up your mind and your faith to a point that you don't even realize it anymore. But now when you're faced with it, yes, it's going to be a different experience because now you're actually there, but you won't be in as much shock as somebody else who literally had no clue what the hell they were about to face. Okay? And now what I had here is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 57. Now applying that, it says, thy children shall die of hunger. And that's, look, having a loved one die, especially when you're around, that's not a light thing. You know, and especially your children. Your children are like very precious to you, because you once you have a child, you just have it's like an automatic package of responsibility that just gets installed into you. Okay? And now you have somebody that's from their birth up looking up to you for everything. You're like their superhero. You know, they look at you like you got the solution to everything. And you want to be able to provide for them and help them out, and you give them the skin off your back, you know, that kind of thing. So when it says thy children shall die of hunger, now imagine things are so bad that you're starving, but what hurts you more is you have to witness your child starve to death because you guys can't get food to eat. Do you know what that's like? Do you know that's agony? But that's judgment. These are going to be some crazy, horrific times, man. Even look at a man like Job, okay, who lost his children and all of that, and look at the state that it put Job in. And how much more for these people here who don't have, they're not hard in the mind, they're not strengthened in the spirit, they don't have any of that. All they know is just getting whatever they want and being spoiled and those kind of things. So when they're faced with this, they're mommy, I'm hungry, and they can't take them to McDonald's and they can't make food for them because there's nothing. People were losing their minds over baby formula, not being able to get some for their children. So what now? What happens when you step outside to try and get a food run, right? And then maybe it's 2 of you or 3 of you that go, but only 1 of you makes it back because it's so chaotic over there. Because maybe you went into the supermarket and everybody was rushing to get something and somebody just let off shots. So everybody started running and you ran and you didn't pay attention to where everybody else was. And now you realize that you're the only one that survived. What happens then? These are the kinds of things that are going to be happening. And it doesn't matter how much food or what guns you have. How do you keep yourself grounded when you go through things like that? You know, when a loved one gets taken out, when judgment comes, you know, how do you remain mentally grounded in that situation? People are not going to be able to. All right, it says, and thou shalt fall through the sword, thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountain shall die of hunger, and shall eat their own flesh and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. And that's cannibalism. So there's going to be cannibalism out here. So we're in unprecedented times, and people see, you may see cannibalism in a movie, but it's a movie. You know, you may have, see it in a documentary, but that's different from actually knowing and seeing that there's cannibalism going on. You know, oh shit, yo, there's people out there kidnapping people and they're eating them because there's no food around. I mean, real shit, man. We're talking about real stuff. Then these are life and death traumatizing events that are going to be taking place. So the one way to really prepare is mentally, and that really starts through the fear of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. If you don't have that, you're gonna bug out. You're gonna lose your mind. Okay? You're gonna lose it. And that's what you're gonna get ready to see. And that's the danger in these people. They're gonna get triggered and they're gonna lose it, and they're just gonna start wilding out. They're gonna start wilding the hell out. You know, please, oh my gosh, I need it. Joe, shit. This guy's losing it, man. You know? So, yeah, these are the dangerous times that are coming. Let me see what I could get off of here. This is I will a war 777, Zephaniah 1 and 17. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. And see, take a story where somebody gets brutally stabbed and they're begging for help. Please, please, I got a daughter, please. And nothing happens. Now, when you see something like that, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, oh shit, chill out. But in that time of Jacob's trouble, what happens when you come across a situation like that? And now you're like, yo, the dude's looking directly at you. He's probably looking, please help me, please, please, please. And now you hear like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Do I jump in? Do I not? But you got to understand that the Lord will deliver those that he will deliver. He will have mercy on whom he will have mercy. And if there's somebody going through something like that, then there's a chance that it's judgment. See? So when you understand these kinds of things, you'll know how to pick your battles in a sense. You know when not to get involved. Because that might be the Lord that is the Lord carrying out judgment. And you don't want to try and intervene with that, lest you get hurt. See, so there's so many things that you don't realize, but you're actually learning and picking up from watching these videos, reading the scriptures, praying, and going through the different experiences the Lord puts you through. You learn a lot of things that are going to come in very handy in Jacob's trouble. It just happens to, the Lord just has it come out. Okay? Being able to overcome shyness. I'm sure there's brothers out there who never were really out there. Who were more reserved and kept to themselves, and they didn't want to be out there. But being in this truth has forced you to be out on the forefront, to be out on camera, to have to speak in front of people, and to have to come out of your comfort zone and do things that you might not otherwise have been comfortable doing. And if you were never pushed, you wouldn't have done it. But now you're able to do it, and you're able to do it well. That is the spirit, but it's all here. It's all here. How this gets affected, okay, that's how you're able to, go out and do these different things. Okay, so spiritual power really is power of the mind. And that's why you have to strengthen your mind and feed it with the right things, so that it can produce the right outcome for you. So that you're not crippled with fear and doubt and all these things. Well, are you studying? Are you reading? Because when you read the scriptures and you study, you're supposed to be getting built up. You're supposed to be getting exhorted. That's how you strengthen your faith. Okay, but when you look at things, the world doesn't promote faith. It doesn't promote Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The only way you're going to get that is here. So if you're not invested here, then how are you going to be nurturing and growing and building up your faith, all right, and storing up your treasures in heaven? You're not. And when that time comes, if you didn't prepare, as the saying goes, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And this is not something that you want to fail. Okay? This is Yahweh's will and Testament 7:144, Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. For God shall bring every work into judgment, and every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. All right, this is Never Give Up on Yahweh Shai 144, Psalms 91 and 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So guess what? Knowing this alone will comfort you. Even when you're faced with death, you remembered, look, the Lord is not a liar. And according to the scriptures, he said we're going to be okay. So you know what? Whatever it is, let it come. I know the Lord is going to do something. That will make you make certain decisions that you would never have thought about making before. And that will in turn pay out. It will turn out well for you. Okay, and you'll be able to make it to levels and places that people in the world cannot make it to. You'll be able to cross thresholds and gain access to different things of the spirit that people in this world cannot gain access to, because they're stuck in a carnal mind. They haven't been exposed to the spiritual. They haven't been trained in the arts of a spiritual mind. All right. I like that saying, right? They haven't been trained in the arts of a spiritual mind. You got to think of it like that. We're constantly training and getting better and better and better and honing up our skills in this. Because this is a fight. Ephesians 6. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So you know that you're not only going to be going up against the physical, but the spiritual. That these demons. So they're all going to be coming, all right? They're going to be coming looking for who they can grab and who they can sift and who they can take, whether it's through fear or hunger or pain, whatever it is. The emotions, they're trying to grab all of that and utilize it to bring you down, to take away your salvation, to jeopardize your seat on the chariot. And now are you going to sit there and let them do that? You're going to let this crusty-ass demon just pull up on your ass, and after all the work you've done, going out there cold, hot, you know, being mocked, whatever it is, being scoffed at, family members saying this about you, you're going to do all of that. You mean to tell me if you wanted to give up, you didn't give up then. You went through all of that just so you could get to Jacob's trouble, and a long-toed, crusty-lipped demon could come and snatch that away from you? Snatch all those years and hard times and tears and experience that you've been through, sacrifices you've made. You just gonna let this dude come and just snatch that away? And you this close to cashing out. You gonna let him come and take your paycheck out your hand and take it away because what? You were afraid? Because what? You were hungry? Because what? They pushed the MOTB in front of you? Hey, that we all gonna be tested. But you gotta hold fast that which you have. Lest, you know, somebody else, you know, you don't want that. You want to hold it fast till the Lord comes back. And when he comes back, you can give it to him. And in exchange, you get what the reward he's going to give you. Okay. But anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. I don't want to, you know, ramble on. But Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. And just remember that the times that we're coming into are unprecedented times. That means things you've never seen before, you've never heard before, you've never really felt before, but you're going to be thrown in it anyway. And so all we got is our faith and our trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. And hey, you just got to go out there and do it, man. And remember that your salvation is on the line. So don't let that demon come and take it from you. Okay? You work too hard. You work too hard to let his ass come just one day, swoop that shit away from you. Hell to the no. All right, so anyway, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rakah Kudash. And until next time, Shalom.